everybody?
Great.
Great weekend or what?
Yes.
It has. It's been fabulous. Well, I tell you, I'm very honored, humbled to be here before y'all. I got a call. It was, let's see if I can remember when it was. It was 9:23 on Thursday night. So when you know to the minute what time it was, it's kind of an important call, right? I looked down. Normally I go to bed about 8:30 or 9. Everybody knows that, right? But I was up late doing some stuff, and phone rang. And it said Steve Fisher on there. Ooh, I better catch this call. He says, "Hey, Deano, did I catch you out?" He said, "Hey, I just wondered if you could share with the group a little bit on Sunday." So after I picked the phone back up, I said, "Sure, Steve. Yeah, I'll be happy to share with him. What you want me to talk 2 or 3 minutes?" He said, "No, I thought maybe an hour." No, he didn't really say an hour. But he said, "No, a little longer than that." And the reason I was, and I'm more than happy to speak to you, but here's the thing: it's not like just a group. I was telling Jeff Martin earlier this morning. We come up here on Tuesday nights, and we know everybody, and I know most of you. But you guys are the top of the echelon here. You're the top leaders all across the United States. And I need to be sitting out there getting tips from y'all. So I'm very honored and humbled to be here. So, I talk a lot about Zig Ziglar. And I went to one of his seminars many times before he passed away. And a lot of his seminars, he'd speak 4 or 5 hours a day, and it was a 3-day seminar. He said, "My goal is if you just leave this seminar today and tomorrow, just take away one thing each day. I'm going to talk for several hours." This was Zig talking. "And just take away one thing." So my hope is, and my prayer is that you just take away one thing that I say, because I don't necessarily have anything earth-shattering, but maybe I have something that you don't know about. So let me tell you my story briefly. I'll hit on a couple of points, and then we'll move on. But I was born and raised right here in Dallas, Texas. I'm proud to say that I graduated in the top 10 of my graduating class. There was 13 of us that graduated. So anyway, after I graduated from high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had a couple of friends. I didn't want to go to college at the time, and I had a couple of friends. They owned some convenience stores. And they said, "Hey, why don't you come over and help us supervise some of these convenience stores?" I said, "Well, I'll do that for a little while until I figure out what I want to do." You know how it is, if you don't plan your life, what's going to happen? Your life's going to plan you. So I went over there literally thinking 1 or 2 years. 10 years, I'm still there. 16 years later, I'm still working for the other guy, helping him build his dreams, helping him buy farms and trucks and go on nice trips, and I'm just living paycheck to paycheck. I met a guy who I love dearly. His name's Mark Flores. Hello, Flo. Yeah. And so we got to be good golf buddies and so forth. And he said, or we were talking, I said, "Hey, Flo, maybe we should be entrepreneurs." We didn't know how to spell it, but we were like, I'll be honest with you, Presley, I still don't know how to spell it. Right? I just put E-N-T. I said, we can be entrepreneurs. He said, "Okay." So Flo, he knew a little bit about landscaping. Randall, what does he not know a little bit about, right? He knew a little bit about landscaping because he had a landscaping business. He said, "Well, let's open up a nursery, a flower nursery." We said, "Okay." Opened one up, about a year went by. A major chain came in across the street from us called Callaway's, so we shut that down. Or they shut us down. So I said, "Well, Flo, that was a good business, but we sure put in a lot of hours." I said, "Why don't we try something that's not so intensive? Maybe like a Christmas tree lot, because that was only 1 or 2 months a year." I thought that's a pretty good deal. Larry, if you could figure out a way we could get residual income on a Christmas tree, it'd be a better deal. Well, we opened up the Christmas tree lot, and it did okay, but it wasn't enough income. Finally, a car dealership came around, and we decided to get into the car business. And I want to regress from that a moment because this leads into one of my yeses. There's been three different times in my life that I've said yes that has radically changed my life. And the first time was in 2001 when I said yes to Jesus and accepted him as my Lord and Savior. The second time was when I married actually she said yes, when I married my beautiful wife. I guess we both said yes, right? My beautiful wife, LaDon. You know, Ryan had a picture of him and his wife and their baby. So I brought a picture of me and my wife and our baby. There it is right there. That would be my beautiful wife, LaDon. And that's Duke Dean. Many of y'all may have heard on our conference calls about Duke Dean. Here's one more picture of Duke. She likes to dress him up when she takes him for a walk. And so there's Duke. It was kind of a sunny day that day. You know, like a lot of sun in his eyes. So anyway, that was the second time I said yes. So we have this car dealership, right? And we had about 5 years, and times started to get tough. We were not doing very well. This guy comes on the car dealership, and he buys, actually a young girl comes on and finds a BMW she likes, and she sends her dad in to buy the car. And he writes a check for the car, and he leaves, a BMW. It was pre-owned, but it was still pretty pricey. And I think it was dad and her mom, his daughter and her mom, both that were there. But anyway, about a month later, here he comes back, and he picks out a BMW for himself, a little bigger, a little nicer BMW, and wrote a check for it. I told Flo, I don't know what he's doing, but if it's legal, we need to do it. And he said, hey, Deano, I got a business deal I want to run by you. Make a note of that. That's all he said. I got a business deal I want to run by you. I said, okay. And we went to Jason's Deli. Now, their napkins are not any bigger than a Kleenex, right? And he explained network marketing on that napkin. And I said yes to that. And his name was Presley Swaggerty. I believe y'all heard from him just recently. And I tell you, it's been life-changing. I love you and Jeannie and appreciate. I just thank the Lord he thought enough of me to share that business with me. That led into Stream, and able to pay off like $40,000 worth of credit card debt the first year. Quickly realized what residual income was, and extremely blessed to be one of the top earners in the company for the past 10, 11 years, something like that. So what I want to talk to you about now is, that's kind of how I got to where I was. But a lot of times people say, well, you must have sponsored a ton of people in this business, or you must have got a ton of customers. And I tell you this to give you hope, not to tell you not to go sponsor anybody, but I've been in the business 12 years, and I've sponsored 24 people. So what is that, 2 people a year? So, I'm not encouraging you to do that. It's just, that's what I did. I did have some good people. You'll get to meet some of them. But, and then customer-wise, we had to have, 20, right, to get to ED or what have. So I got 20, and then they decided to give us free energy. So I got 15 more. I had 35 or what. Now they got this PCB, so I might consider getting a few more there too, right? But it's not like I got a ton of customers either. This is about building a team. I heard somebody say one time, the team is TEAM, together everyone achieves more. And so not only do you have just your team, but you got teams within that team. And you build that culture. And we've got back there on the back wall, Team DFB with Bernadette, you just heard from, a presidential director, Winchell Elibert, presidential director, Randall Blackman, presidential director, and Anthony Cooper, executive director. That's a team there that just goes and goes and goes. I've been extremely blessed to work with Mr. Greg Williams. Y'all know Greg Williams? He makes sure that I don't get lost going down the road. Jeff Martin, he and I met for the first time over in Garland, Texas, many years ago. And of course, Roseanne Marino and her husband Tomas that's here. And Marissa Burr is right up here. I hope I haven't forgotten. But that gives you an idea. I just named a lot of executive director, presidential directors that are on our team. I didn't sponsor any of those people. I sponsored 2 people that have done extremely well. I wish he was here today. He was here yesterday. Terry Yancey. A lot of y'all may not know that, but I sponsored him. And man, he's got, 40,000 people on his team or something crazy, And then Mark Flores, of course, I sponsored him as well. But again, this is about driving depth. And we have conference calls. We talk all the time about getting our people paid and getting them promoted. And if you'll focus on that, I think you'll find that it works well. So go for the PCB3, go for getting customers, go for definitely sponsor more. If there's one thing I wish I'd have done, I wish I had sponsored more, and I think I'm going to sponsor more, as excited as I am now with the company. So let me talk to you about residual for just a moment. Residual income, well, let me ask you this. How many of you either are millionaires or you want to be a millionaire? Raise your hand. Okay. So I want you to look at it from a different perspective. This is what I always thought. Okay, I want to be a millionaire, so I got to have $1 million in the bank. Okay? And then I got to live over here. But I got to have $1 million. I just look at my account. Well, that's kind of hard to do. You know? And so I looked at it a different way. So I'll share this life story with you. In 1982, I bought a house in Garland, Texas, not far from where Jeff lives, actually. I bought a house out there, and I got it paid off. It only took me 30 years to pay it off. 27, because I accelerated it a little bit, right? And so today, that house is worth about $200,000. A good friend of mine lives in it, and I make probably $1,000 a month after taxes and all that in residual, it's residual income. What I'm encouraging everybody here to do, many of you are past this level, so you want to just double it or triple it or whatever. But some of you, maybe you haven't quite got to that $5,000 a month, because $5,000 a month is where you need to get to be considered a millionaire. Because if you take those 5 houses, then I'm just using that for an example, times 200,000, that's $1 million, okay? And you get $1,000 a month, that's $5,000. So don't feel like you got to have $1 million in the bank, but have a goal to get your residual income up to that point. Last story, and then we'll move on. Let me give you another real life story. 2015, I went to the doctor for a checkup. Just physical, what have you. And I think it was about 3 days later, I had me a little bucket of golf balls, and I was going out to just hit some practice balls, and I got a phone. It was from my doctor, and they said, or the nurse or assistant or whatever, said, Dr. Deano would like you to come in. I thought, this may not be good. And so I said, okay, I'll be right there. Well, no, you got to make an appointment, I was like, oh, boy. So I made appointments like 3 days later, so I slept real good those next 2 nights, right? And go in, sure enough, I had a nodule in my lung about the size of a quarter. Well, my wife and I and the doctor, we all prayed about it. He told me that you need to get it taken out, probably chemo, radiation, so forth. And we prayed about it, and I told him that I respected what he said, but that wasn't what we chose to do. And so the 3 things, we did all kinds of things. In fact, I got a short video you can see on this in your own time. But the 3 things that we did was, number 1 thing was we relied on the Lord for his guidance. All right. And then the other 2 things was, 1, we just cut out sugar. I mean, it's just deadly. We cut that out. But the other thing was stress. And I tend to carry a lot of stress anyway. And so my wife and I talked about it. And so what I did to cut back the stress was I cut back a lot on my work, and I had to because I was getting all these alternative treatments that take a lot of time, okay? I cut back a lot on the travel. In fact, I haven't been on an airplane, whether it's pleasure or work, in 2 years, because I know what it does for my immune system and my stress level. And I'm trying to get rid of a nodule, right? I mean, it kind of gets your attention. We lived not an exit down the road, maybe a mile from here, and we sold our place and moved out to the country, so that, again, just less stressful and so forth. Not that I quit working, I was still around, but just cut everything back. 2 years later, I went back. I kept going back every 6 months, but 2 years later, I went back, and the nodule was gone. It was gone. And we're praising God for that, for sure. To be clear, I still have some enzyme levels and some other things that are out of whack that we're still working on. but we're certainly headed in the right direction, and thankful that that it didn't grow any bigger. So let me make sure I hadn't forgot anything else. I don't believe I have. We did a short video. That's my doctor that you see there. It's a short YouTube video. I'm not playing it now. But at the top left, you see it says marksjourney.info. You're welcome to go and look at that. Don't do it now, but go look at it and share it and what have you, because our goal is to give the praise to the Lord. And if somebody wants to know what we did other than those two things I mentioned for stress and sugar, I'll be happy to talk to them about either one of those subjects at any time. So, all right. Well, why don't we do this? Man, I am excited about where we are right now. You know, we have a national director meeting. I think it's one Thursday a month, third Thursday of the month, something like that. And we had one about 10 days ago. And I came home to my wife, and she said, "Well, honey, how'd it go?" I said, "It was awesome." She said, "Come on, honey, how'd it go?" I said, "I'm not kidding you. It was awesome." She said, "It really was good, wasn't it?" I said, "Absolutely." I said, we have got the right people in the right place at the right time. And man, I am ready to run with this thing. And she was excited. She's still excited, and I certainly am too. I call it the Magnificent Seven. That's kind of what I was looking at there. Was you know, we got Larry Mondry, and you're going to hear from him in just a moment. Larry Mondry, Dan O'Malley, right there, right exactly where we need them. I mean, you know, running the corporate office. And everything that you've heard that they do, and then we got Steve Fisher and Ryan Morris over all of us, over the network marketing division. So they're all focused on something that's just absolutely going to explode. We can already see the difference. And then supporting Ryan and Steve. Then of course we've got Greg Savage, Adrian, that we heard from yesterday, and Blake Holder. I mean, that's 7 people. You put it in those guys' hands, and man, I tell you, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So, hey, I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. One word that I'll leave with you, and that I'll bring Larry up, is, you know, I gave one to Jim a while back. This bracelet here says it's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And whether it's a decision you're trying to make in life or in business, it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will set your path straight." Whether that's stream, your life, or whatever it is, if you do that, you'll be running ahead of the game, I can assure you. All right. Thank you. Looky here. This is who we've been wanting to hear from for some time, huh? The CEO of the company. I'm telling you, this guy right here, stream next gen. Hey, no, seriously. When he came in a year and a half ago, I was pumped, weren't y'all? Yep. Or however exactly how long ago it was. And then he brings Dan in. But let me tell you, man, he had his hands full. Imagine trying to run all this with stream and everything, and then take care of all of us. Did you ever get a call from any of us, or we pretty much left you alone?
Oh, no. I never heard from anybody. No texts, no phone calls, no emails. There was never a day that I got more than 600-700.
So nothing's really changed, right? No, seriously, he had his hands full for sure. And so now he can focus on stream, and he's going to tell you more about that.